So continuing with the Temperance card and looking at the interpretations. So this kind of gives me a good opportunity to say that when it comes to the tarot and learning tarot, most likely there are going to be cards within the deck that you absolutely love, you get on really well with, you just totally understand them. But then on the same hand, there's going to also be cards that you find quite difficult. You may understand the meaning, it's just that when it comes out in a reading, you find it more difficult to relay the message. And that's my experience with Temperance. It's not because it's a negative card. It's not that I don't like the card. Temperance is a lovely card, it's a very healing card, it's a beautiful card. It can be very positive. I just find it really difficult to vibe with it really, and to be able to explain what Temperance is actually trying to say. So after the kind of upheaval and the profound changes symbolised by the Death card, there's now a need for balance, possibly healing, and the integration of the new insights and circumstances that are now in the person's life. So when it speaks of the need of integrating the changes that have occurred from previously, it also is talking about how we can take the lessons learned from the past. We can look at our past mistakes, and then going forward, we know how to avoid those mistakes now in the future, in order to be able to live in a more harmonious existence. It's very much a card of stabilisation after the transformation of the previous stage, and about adjustment into the new. So when the Temperance card comes out, it talks about finding the new balance now, finding balance in one's life or various aspects of one's life. It talks about avoiding extremes and living in moderation. It speaks about the need for patience and being patient with yourself on the journey that you're on. And also seeking the healing that you need if needed, or the fact that you could be in a very healing stage of your life right now. In health matters, it would talk about moderation. It would talk about if there's any unhealthy habits, about how you might need to moderate what you're doing, such as if you're partying a lot, or if you're not eating, if your diet is slightly unhealthy. It's about bringing you back into moderation. In recovery, it can talk about a healthy lifestyle, so avoiding extremes, so not exercising to excess, but not exercising at all. And then the same with diet, still allowing yourself to enjoy the things that you enjoy, but also not going to the extremes with those things, about finding that healthy balance. Because it also speaks about our emotional health being important too, as well as our physical health. And sometimes we might have a health scare, and then we might concentrate all on our physical health, but then we don't at all then look at our emotional health and how that could be affecting us emotionally. So it's about the fact that we still need to enjoy our life, we still need to be emotionally and physically balanced to feel healthy as a whole. It would also talk about if there's a need for healing, so maybe the person hasn't sought healing yet, but there may be a need for some kind of healing, or it could just be acknowledging that the person is in their healing period right now. And also having patience, so being patient with the healing process, that things do take time, and recovery is always possible, but it's not something to be rushed. In relationships, if there's conflict or tension between two people, it can talk about finding balance between the two people to seek the harmony again between you within the relationship. So it talks about compromise, finding a common ground, having that mutual understanding. So understanding, seeing from each other's perspectives. Communication is really important when it comes to relationships, and both parties being able to communicate their wants and needs, and then each other also being able to then kind of respect and understand the other person's wants and needs, to then find that mutual ground, that balance in the relationship again, so that both people are being fulfilled. Again, patience would be required here as well, because you need to have patience with one another in order to find that understanding within the relationship between you both, to find that common ground, which would then hopefully create that harmonious connection. In career, it can talk about maybe work-life balance. So if all of your time is being spent at work, but then it's affecting your home life, so it's about setting clear boundaries with work and the tasks that you need to do around work, so it doesn't then kind of pour into your home life and affect that. So it's about understanding that the importance of having a good, nice home, looking after your home, self-care, relaxation, leisure activities, socialising, and family life. And it can also be the same on the reverse. So maybe you're trying to start a business, and it can speak about maybe you're starting it from home, but every time you go to work on the business, you see the kitchen needs tidying, or your friend rings and says, shall I come round for a coffee? And it's about having to set those boundaries. Well, not today, I'm working. These are the times that I've dedicated, even though I'm doing it from home, I've dedicated these hours to be doing my work. So when it talks about personal growth, it can talk about integrating what we've learned in the past into the now, going forward. It talks about nurturing all aspects of self, being physical, mental, spiritual and emotional. It talks about any healing that we need to do, and honouring that, or acknowledging that and then honouring that. So if we do need to do some healing around certain things, then to actually seek that out. It talks about having patience with oneself on one journey, so how personal development isn't something that can be rushed. It can also talk about avoiding extremes. So this could be extremes in going back to health. Like I said before, if we're over exercising and we're exercising too much, or if our diet is just too healthy and we're not having any of the good stuff, so it talks about avoiding extremes in that way. Or it can talk about avoiding extremes with unhealthy habits. Even in the emotional body, if we act very quickly to things, such as we might get very angry easily, and maybe there are ways that we can channel that anger that's a lot more healthy to avoid those extreme outbursts, such as exercise, running, drawing, whatever it might be for you. So finally, how the Temperance card can show us that we've done a lot of healing can be that we've now established more of a connection to our higher self. So moving away from the domination of the ego self to the embrace of a more balanced and integrated sense of self, which is much more directed by the higher self. So tomorrow I will be talking about the Devil card.